All right, I think we're live. Welcome to, what's going on here? Welcome to my live sculpt. I'm gonna be working on, I don't know what you can see yet. Here, let's get rid of my logo. We're gonna be working on this. I want to start detailing the face, and then balancing the chest roll region a little bit. Starting to do some fingers, toes. But I think we're gonna try and get the face a little more balanced today. I attached these a little earlier today. Haven't done much today. I've been doing candle experiment stuff. So let me move him out of the way. Oop, don't fall. There we go. Found this. Let's get this out of here. Chaos over there. Yeah, I've been doing candle experiments for 2025 and might do more in 2026. So I've been mucking about with that. See, trying to get my little chat window open in case somebody comes in. I'm probably going to do this till about, what, 6:30. Then I got to take care of some dogs. Bing. What else? Let's go to a couple social media type things. Yeah, no. Holden was already in my lap, so my face is covered in cat hair already. I have taken a couple of old molds that I had that I was doing other experiments with. I'm repurposing them to do candle wax melts. You have like the electric or the tea light type of candle melter. I had a green slime mold that I made, or a gelatinous cube mold. Either one of those two would fit for it. And then I made this little slime guy type of character to go on your shoulder, and it didn't quite work. But I made those into, I did a couple of test wax melts. After I post this, I'm gonna go run up and grab the two of them. They're sitting by the front door. Took some photos in natural lighting. Do 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 do. And I do need to finish this stupid guy, which I say I think in every, all right, not every, but 95% of every live I do. When I look up and I see him sitting there, I'm like, I gotta finish him. Gotta finish. Gotta. We'll see. Oh, and I started a little dragon that was going to be on the shoulder as well. Anna. Anna. We'll see. Let's get back to here. Do. What am I trying to do here? Down now. All right. Yeah, so I'm doing several different experiments, which I did a live sculpt for the face I'm doing. And then I didn't do any lives for the changes to the unicorn horns I made. Hi, kitty. Those experiments I have a learning curve with. And the folks I'm buying wax from, the candle supply company, they had a recommendation of adding beeswax to my wax mix. I'm probably going to do that because the beeswax is a little harder than the soy that I'm using. But so anyhow. Ugh. Oh, I thought I hit enter. West Park Times. I really hate the nonsense programming Facebook has done to their windows to try and tag crap that's relevant to you, but they want you to do it so they can. Never mind. Do. All right, let's put my keyboard down. So here. Hi, cat. He's back. Here is. Oh, damn it. It wasn't wax, so it didn't break. Which I've done now twice, 2 wax castings. Anyway, so here's the little green slime that I did. I gave him little arms, little silly arms, little smile, little one little eyeball. I did him as a shoulder critter a couple of years ago. I still do have some. Oh, I have a yellow one right here. I was experimenting with colors. But the yellow kind of washes out the features from far away. And there's a little magnet down inside there. And he sits on your shoulder. But I thought I would do something. I was like, oh, you know what? I could repurpose that. Because then it's kind of, you can drop them in your wax melt and he'll slowly dissolve. The other one I never did anything with. Let's put him somewhere. Not safe. There, he's not safe there. I made like a gelatinous cube. And I put a D20 in there with resin. It didn't seem to be worth it. But, so here he is. It was kind of interesting to actually try and do this sculpt and make it look gelatinous and cube-like still. So anyway, I was like, oh, I can revisit the gelatinous cube as a wax melt. So we got this guy. Do 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 do. And then I got a goblin face, but he's boxed, and I also broke him. Um, while my brain does remove undercuts and stuff like that when I'm sculpting, some stuff I do in resin is perfectly fine to have undercuts. So the big bulbous nose I gave him, uh, ooh, this smells good. I think this is my sweet tobacco. Hmm. I'm doing sweet tobacco, leather, and some sort of other scent mixed in there. And then I bought a couple of test scents, like a moss fern. So it's supposed to smell like a forest, which you would think moss would also. Um, there's another one too. Jen picked one, an amber one. But I did an amber one of these. So this is the 6-inch unicorn horn on a little stand. The one I have uh, over that way now is hardening, and I put stones in the bottom. So when the candle burns down and people get to the base here, some uh, uh, gemstones will appear. Not like fake crystals, but real rocks, gems, amethyst stones, and a whole bunch of other random. I guess what are they called? Precious gems, precious gemstones. I don't know. But some of the stuff that Jen used to do, we used to use those. Jen's not doing it anymore, so I'm repurposing some of the stuff that we have around. The first test I did with my goblin head burn, I used a set of regular uh, size polyhedron dice in it, but I put them at different layers. So I did slow pours. I did like pour 2 ounces of wax, put a couple dice, pour a couple more ounces of wax, let that harden, put a couple more dice, and I kept them away from the wick. And as I was doing it, I was tilting the head because for my epoxy work, when you do that little tilt, uh, the eyeball doesn't really follow the tilt in a line that would appear like in a clear epoxy pour. You can kind of trick the eye into not seeing a pour line. That's how I would float things in clear resin or clear epoxy. Uh, so I was doing that with the wax, and it didn't work so well because I also was experimenting with doing a little slush cast with wax. So I would let the wax, I'd tilt it so the wax would go up on the side wall. I don't think I have a I don't think I have a mold around here to visualize it, but do. I guess this kind of visualizes it. This is some monster clay. So like with a slush, you kind of would tilt it, and you would get material on the side. So a little bit of wax would stick to the side, but then it didn't work. It would peel off when I would pour warmer wax on it, and then the new wax wouldn't bond because of the wax shrinkage that happens. I'm used to resin. Some of the resins I have very minimal shrinkage. Wax has a pretty good amount of shrinkage, so it would pull away from the mold. Anyway, that experiment also failed, but I burned it anyhow just to see what would happen. And what I learned was also if I dropped if I have any other dice here, just have this D20. Uh, Well, let's just say I dropped it into the resin that was at an angle like that, and then this might not be straight. It wasn't like on a flat surface like that. It was at an angle. So when the candle wick would go down, uh, this shifted and it fell into the wick and melted the dye a little bit. The dice don't really catch fire. I mean, eventually they would. They char and produce toxic fumes. Um, so anyway, that's kind of what happened. I uh, I had some toxic fumes, but I kind of caught it right after it did it, so I blew the candle wick out. I might try and uh, dig that dye out and let it keep going just to see what the rest of the layers end up being. Uh, but so, I mean, that was one of the reasons I was doing test burns, the experiment. The one that's going out to a friend to Addie at sorry, I shouldn't do more than one thing at a time. Um, Eddie and Patrick are gonna burn one of my candles for me, and I'm gonna send one out to Dave. If you watch this eventually later, no one's gonna watch this too soon. So by the time I say that, I'll already be making them and maybe selling them. Um, but Addie at Tangled Earth is going to be doing a test burn on my next goblin head, and for that I have a set of mini dice, and they're all far away from the wick, and they're all on the same level, so that none of them should really shift and fall into the wick. We'll see. All right, hi Yabber. Let's see what we're gonna do here. Let's see. Yeah, that's soft. Just throw that back there. Let's get back to putting the live back up on the screen. All right. So, what do we need to do with this head? This is going to be resin casting. I'm not doing this thing in wax. So, let's see here. Move that out of the way. Find some of my sculpting tools. Oh, I also was smart and got this covered in wax from when I also made another flub. I forgot to rubber band shut a mold. So a little wax leakage happened. Let's see here. Put you there. Take you out of there. Let's get you out of there. I want you. Oh, and here's the other thing that I'm doing is a candle. It's a candlestick. And what I should have done is cut this off here. Again, live and learn. And put that plug there because this is 12 inches. This is not. My mold ends here. I can't put a wick all the way to here. I have to tie like a string to it and then use it to try and center it inside of this. Yeah, that was another mistake. But we'll see. Maybe with the funds from selling experiments, I'll make 2.0 molds. I'll redo some of my test molds. All right, let's see here. Are these tools I'm looking for? Nope, that is. Oh, nope. Oh, here's the size of the mini dice that are going inside the. I'm missing a tool. It's probably upstairs somewhere. This is it. Oh, there it is. All right. I think we chit-chatted for 15 minutes, 20 minutes. For some reason, I'm going to the hands before I start other stuff. All right. Let's see here. Let's cut there. And maybe we'll use this to make some lines for fingers. Clear a little bit of material out here. Let's see. Should I move this to the side? I'd take a vote, but there's nobody out there, so we won't take a vote. I'm going to cut that. Trim some clay there. I think we can do the same thing on the other hand. So basically, I'm kind of like taking a little bit of wrist away behind the thumb. So with that thumb being this hand, it's kind of like this. So I can just shape it a little bit. Take a tiny bit of clay away. This is going to get probably molded. I'll probably mold this. I think originally I was going to do it one of a kind, but with the amount of time I'm putting into the model, makes me makes me reevaluate. Instead of charging somebody a couple $100 for a ferry, I can do a mold, do a cast. arms are a little elongated, since I always kind of get rid of the feminine. I try to wash out the feminine a little bit. And then, oops, where are we at here? I swear, I gotta be allergic to something in my studio. Same as work. When I get to my 9 to 5, I just start sniffling and sneezing. I work at a company that does foam fabrication, making things out of foam. So all I can think of is there's lots of foam dust in the air, and my nose don't like it. I think it's about 10 of the last 20 years there. All right. So I think I might have made this hand a little too fat, a little too big. So I feel like I need to thin this hand out here. Again, you probably see from the top view, that's this hand, so that's the pinky. Your hand is basically straight when it's at what natural state it's, and you do that, you really don't have a little bit of a bump in the flat of your hand, and the fingers are pretty lined up. So I'm going to get rid of that. And we're going to use one of these ball tools to kind of, the wrist should be like right here. So I could really probably take a tiny bit of clay and add it back here. That's not horrible. Maybe a tiny bit more. Excuse me. There. So again, looking at that, your thumb kind of comes up to slightly before your finger. So that's mostly okay. Finger start right there. And let's do some more fingers. One moment, please. Hi, I'm back. Where were we? Hands. Try and make hands look like, or fingers look more real. Ish. What? That works. That's good. If you want to add, if you want to add that 3D thing with the gallery glass, I can get that for you. If you want to try it on something else before you do it on that. Okay. I just realized I gave this thing too many fingers. That might have been what's been screwing with my brain. Let's just remove this entire finger and that part of the hand. There. See what happens with that. Eee, ah, ooh. Ugh. Ow. That does look better after realizing that you gave something 5 fingers and thumb. All right, I do need to do some backfill on that arm. Oh, you know what? This has been here for 2 weeks, and this has leached out a bunch of the polymer, a bunch of the oils. So this is kind of dried out. So I'm going to take some other polymer clay I have sitting back here and mix it in with this to try and get some oils back in. It's not horrible, but excuse. Right. Sorry. You probably saw me zoned out. Oh, wait. Nobody. Maybe I should. What happens if you say Twitch on a YouTube live? Does YouTube have an algorithm? Beep bop boop. Beep, 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 beep bop boop. We just noticed you said it. Meep, meep, meep. Uh, I work in IT. I know that's the sounds that computers make while they're doing stuff. Beep, beep boop, beep, bop boop. I'm not monkeying around, man. All right. I have sculpting tools that were 30 plus years old, made out of brass rods that I really miss. Because they were really good for tiny work. And I haven't done a lot of tiny work in a long time. I don't. All right, let's see here. These are, to me, are not great for tiny work. All right. Oh, I had done this to add some weight behind this hand. So back here, really need to get filled in. If I was doing this as a one of a kind, I would leave that. But since my brain pan has switched this over to a mold and cast, these are the shoulder blades that I had put some material in place for at one point. I want to fill that in. So we'll also stop the arm from bouncing around a little bit. But so I'm going to fill in here and fill in here. It's not going to look, it's going to get rid of, I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if we can, I got to look over this way while I'm pointing this way. So this gap is going to get filled in. And a little bit more of this gap is going to get filled in to make it easier to mold. So I'm going to get rid of aesthetic to make a production thing. That makes complete sense, right? So, I don't know where to start. Let's just shove some material here. And then I'll still have a line here. But this elbow is going to get a little fatter. Probably alter the look of it a little tiny bit, but I think I'm going to, I know I said I was going to start on the face, but I started on the hands. Just the way I roll. I'm crazy. I'm a rebel, Dottie. Nope. Don't don't hurt me by trying to climb me, kitty. Now this is going to be a two-part mold, so I am going to be able to keep this, filled out and whatnot. I'm just going to be getting rid of a undercut here. I have no idea what I would have to do for wax on this. Let's move his face. There, now he's looking at you. Should put eyeballs in this thing. Do I have eyeballs in here? Ow. When you leave this in your sculpting tools surgical scalpel, it's a dumb move. When you have two surgical scalpels in your sculpting tools, it's a double dumbass to me. Ooh, that's too big. What do we got here? Is this eye gonna fit? That's not a dragon eye, though. Ooh, these two would fit, though. You know what? When you're a grown-ass adult with ADHD crap, this is gonna happen. You're gonna have issues. This guy's been sitting around without eyeballs for too long. Damn it. I almost cursed. I almost cursed. The same. I do have, did I say earlier that I had the wax melts testing around upstairs? But it's not the right wax. So I don't know what the hell's going to happen with it. It's the soy wax I'm using for the regular candles that I have as a melt. So I don't think it quite evaporates the right way. I think that's the word I'm looking for. So in my lap, which I don't think you guys can see, I think you just see my melon. In my lap is my tub o eyes. I design my eyes in Photoshop, and I make them with cabochons. And so I have a metric shibibit ton of, those are 8mm. It's not at all what we want. That's 8mm. 8mm. Oh. Is that the right size? Where? What did I do? Ooh, yeah, that's what I want. See, got red eyes. Let's push that back there so you can see them. Every time I do something down here, cleaning up, I have to make it 10 times worse in my studio. Hey, let's organize this. We'll put this here now. Well, shit. It was organized for 24 hours. Then the next day I sat my butt down and I made it worse. Whatever you see here, chaos, from this camera, yeah, it's the room. And thus, Jen gets driven nuts. I did try to clean her desk up. And I got a bunch of stuff boxed in. And I have stayed away from putting other stuff on that area because I claim everything is Steve land. Claude Raymond design land. All right, so I thought I bought another one of these. I don't know. That's the ear test. No ear coming out. Where is a needle? Hi, bud. Sure, come on up. I'm not doing anything. No, it's fine. You're not in the way. Yeah, sure, I'd love a hug. That's, yeah. I was thinking, I'd like to try and get some stuff done, but what would be cool is if Holden Clawfield got his ass up on my lap. There we go. That passes the ear test. Microphone here. Wait, where's my mic? Ear test. See? Works. All right. I don't know why I'm doing this. Probably just because I was constantly seeing it without eyeballs. And I was going to get rid of my brain thinking about it has no eyeballs. What are you doing, you crazy cat? And this that I use to glue my eyeballs into my figures that I make and sell to you fine folks is 3D crystal lacquer. Been using this for a good number of years. There was another product I used for a little while, and I went back to this. All right, come on. So now we're gonna stick our red dragon eyes in here. Boop. Hey, hey, why don't, if you're gonna, you, listen here, Holden. There. There's got. Oh, I gotta fix those. They're a little angled. I'm gonna blame you, Holden. Twist that. And how's that look? Not quite at an angle. This one still looks like an angle. There. That stuff will be dry in about a couple hours. In about a couple hours. All right. Hi to whoever's viewing. This is one of our 3 cats, but he's the only one that's really allowed down here. Holden Clawfield was his given name. And he is probably in 95% of the videos on my YouTube channel. Can I kick you off of my lap, buddy? And get back to working on those hands. I only got about 30 minutes left. Maybe I'll come back later. I probably will come back later because I'd like to try and get more done on this. Dude. All right. I'm kicking you. Don't. All right, ready? Get your. Come on. Troublemaker. That way, please. Thank you for visiting. All right. Let's get back to. That hand's pretty good. I mean, roughed out wise. Getting the finger lengths together. Pinky. This finger's a little fat, but that's all right. I'm gonna guess that Pippi doesn't like the gardening going on. I don't think I want to shorten these. But that's the middle finger, so I'm going to elongate that one a little bit by adding a little bit of clay. Sometimes with the fade that I do like a rounded, like this last knuckle. I do like a rounded. I guess what? Think of it like an amphibian. I guess frog fingers. I'm not gonna do that with this one. I mean, I've done that pretty often. But all right, where do we leave off back here? I think I'm gonna add. We're gonna add a tiny bit of clay here. Again, this is all related to molding. So to make the resin pour better into this mold, I'm kind of going to create this channel a little bigger. It's going to be in the back of the figure anyhow, so. And again, trade-off because I want to mold it. I want to do a simple two-part mold, and I want to get overly fancy with this mold. All right, I'm a little happier with that, but I even still kind of want to add a little more, I think. But we're going to start on this hand, and then we'll come back to that one. Maybe I'll be happier with it when I look at it later. My concurrent viewer is gone. All right, we're going to add a little clay down in here. We'll make this a little fatter again too. Listen, I have music playing, so if you see me be bopping around with my head, it is that I also am weird, but it's music playing. You just can't hear it. Or so I've been told. All right. These ears are going to be a pain in the ass. I'm already less distracted with him having his eyes now. I don't know what to do about that experiment either. I do have other leaves. Focus. Focus, Steve. All right. Let's. I think we can add a tiny bit on top there. Just trying to get the arms to match with the arm that I prefer. Prefer the right arm. I like the drape going on there, so we're going to try and add a little mass. Right. These are also going to get covered up by the wings when I install them. What was I going to use? I think I was going to use these as the lower wings. That'd be like that. All right, with the mold for the other wings I wanted to do. What other feathers I was gonna, or leaves I was gonna use. Oh, here. Oh, these are stuck. Oh, that's for another one of these guys. Told you. Oh, here. Get up. Get down. Should we put him here? Sleeping. Where's the other? There we are. So these two, I think, are going to be up top. Maybe it'll be the opposite. Maybe these will be the bottoms. And then that wing will be at top. I think. I don't know. I'm sure I'll make them a bunch of different ways, just like I do the mummified. All right. So I'm a little happier with that hand. I'm a little happier with how I filled in these arms. You could probably try and get this other hand to match that. Maybe I'll use some calipers. Do 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 do. So see, in my head, these were fatter than this. In reality, they're not. So this hand can kind of stay that width. This hand was already evidently fatter than the other one. Now the thumb on this one, I kind of made sticking out a little bit. Well, on this one. This one I'm kind of doing like that. So let's see here. Let's try and eyeball my lines. I need to kind of keep my tool pointing up and down, not like that, because if I do that, then this whole area is kind of used and it makes it a much fatter. All right, that's a good start. What time do we have? Said I was going to stop at 6:30. Where's that clock? Yeah, I got about 12 minutes. Then we're going to go take care of domesticated life, domestic duties. God, I made these like 8 years, 10 years ago. I found one sitting on a shelf. He used to sit on a shoulder too. The dollars to donuts on that or not matching up that well. But This is what I was looking for. It was not in my pile right here. Put it over here. I also have to help Jen something too. So after I get these fingers done, I'm going to do a little extra work with some depth on the hands. I'll do a little knuckle work up here, put some material to raise that a little bit. We'll do that afterwards. Ants. Sugar ants have shown up. Sorry, sugar ant. I can't have you reporting back to the base. Alright. I'm going to add a little material to that one for the middle finger. I used to also have a tool that would be really good for making tiny little fingernails. Probably I'm going to use one of the ball tools to do that now. It's a piece of metal right there. If I can push it down. Wish me luck. Alright. Well, that's that hand. This thumb could use a tiny bit of work, so I'll probably do a little bit of that. What else? Alright, I think with this adjustment, I'm gonna go take a break, do some domestic stuff, help Jen with her project, and then we're gonna come back. And I think that's a little better. We still need to then get to doing, trying to make a more effeminate face. And thanks to, oh wait, where were you? If you watch this later, thanks. I'll be back. Maybe somebody will catch me later. I'm off to go feed some animals. All right. Let's turn this gizmo back on. Appreciate everybody that might watch this later. Don't forget my Ko-Fi is right there. And I do have one started for my candle project, which, you know, if anybody wants to drop a coin in the tin cup, it's appreciated. All right.